Welcome to the 2013 Edgar Awards. We're going to try to keep this moving along because this is about putting people out of their misery. The first award presented tonight will be the Robert L. Fish Award. It will be presented by Doug Allyn.
Evening, gang. Let's get right to the fun. The first award of the evening, the Robert L. Fish Memorial Award, is special for a couple of reasons. It's endowed by the Robert L. Fish estate. It continues through the grace and generosity of his family. This award is not given every year. The judges must consider the work to be exceptional, and it is the only award that involves an actual check. Writers like checks. It's true, we're all in it only for the art, but checks are nice. In addition to the dough, the Robert L. Fish Award is also the most fun because it is, in effect, our Rookie of the Year award. It goes to a first-time writer catching first break. Except when it doesn't. Like tonight. Our award winner, Patricia Smith, is not an unpublished author. Au contraire, she is the author of 6 books of poetry. She's a finalist for the National Book Award, the William Carlos Williams Award from the Poetry Society of America. Her work has appeared in Paris Review, the Tri-Quarterly, Best American Poetry, Best American Essays. She is the 4-time grand champion of the National Poetry Slam. This is our rookie. But in America, great poets are treated like great jazz musicians. We admire them. We don't pay them a whole lot. So I'm guessing that with the sale of her first story and tonight's award, she not only becomes our Rookie of the Year, she instantly becomes America's best paid poet. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our winner tonight to our mystery family, Miss Patricia Smith.
Ma'am. Thank you so much. Enjoy. How's it going, everybody? Is it good? Wow, this is amazing. One of the things I wanted to say, first of all, is I'm one of those people that believes that if you are impassioned about writing, you should write in as many ways as possible. And indeed, I am a poet. I appreciate this $50,000 check. You guys didn't know? Really? That's great. When you are in love with a writer, and I am deeply in love with my husband, who won an Edgar 3 years ago for Best Debut Novel, Bruce De Silva. And he's the one who introduced me to the world of crime fiction, and all of a sudden I was reading, Lawrence Block, and I was looping nooses around my neck, and because he was drinking so much. I was reading Connolly, and I was reading Lehane, and I was reading the exquisite James Lee Burke, and realized that, like poets, crime writers are just using the words they need to move the story forward. We have a lot in common. And what happened is I wound up at Bauscher Con. I went to Bauscher Con, and I teach at the College of Staten Island. I have a hard time getting my students to write. And there was this panel about writing crime in New York, and they were all up there, and they were talking about the Queens, and they're talking about the Bronx, and they're talking about Manhattan, and I'm getting angry in the audience and saying, this is why my students won't write, you're just gonna ignore us. And I raised my hand, and I said, what about Staten Island? And they just said, okay, whatever, that too. And S.J. Rosen, bless her heart, was on, yes, was on the panel. Later on, Johnny Temple from Akashic was talking about the lack of a Staten Island installment in the noir series. And she said, there was this crazy colored woman at Bauscher Con who kind of stood up and said, And Johnny said, I know her as a poet. And thank God for everyone at Akashic. You guys, I love you guys. They vetted me, I guess, because I was eventually chosen to edit Staten Island Noir, and the story I'm being honored for tonight, when they are done with us, was my contribution to that anthology. So I'm very, very thrilled about that. What I wanted to do, I wanted to thank all of you for opening your arms the way that you have. This is one of the most tight-knit communities. Believe me, poets are stabbing each other in the back all the time. And then I would come someplace with Bruce and go, this is fantastic. Everyone has their arm, come to us, come to us. So I wrote a little something just for you. Ready? Okay. This is a poem for crime writers. All right. You craft the back alley slick, the blue unbridled bullet slicing through some city's midnight from a shattered heart to one about to be shattered. You write cocked brim felt fedora, calloused hands that have too often dipped in a body's blood. You see clues in only everything, the swift, surprising ripple of an eyelid, a late train's rough-bellied rumble, windows smudged with overkill, and the second troubled surface of a river. Your heroine tucks a talented pistol into the waistband of her snug red skirt. You plant secrets in a street corner. You make us stare into the closed eyes of a subway rider until we smell a small violence about to be done. You build men and women of fault lines and awkward explosions. They drink too much. They're desperate to find a spirit that will scrub their rhythms clean. They, all of them, have a need to unsee what they have seen, to push that hurried trigger back into place, to rewind, rearrange, to give the breath back. You draw pretty pictures of the unhinged until they wait for us in every mirror. You say, see, see, until the fractured days rhyme beautifully with ours and horribly with ours. You write the stories rooted in our lives which take us out of our lives. You are the shadow which teaches us dread and pulls us closer. You are the dark magicians. I have laid at your door. I've started to live my life there. Thank you for opening that door and letting me in. Thank you. And the last thing I have to do is thank my extremely beautiful granddaughter, Michaela, who puts up with me all the time. You know how mad writers can be. Thank you all. I really appreciate this.